Guys, you literally cannot make this stuff up if you tried. I told you these people were going to go nuts, and boy, oh boy, are they going nuts. So apparently tomorrow in Rochester, Minnesota, at 1 p.m., they are going to have a protest against Shiloh Hendrix. I kid you not. This is not a joke. This is not a drill. These people are going to come out and protest against Shiloh Hendrix, and they are demanding for the local police department to arrest her right now, to charge her with some type of charge. I don't even know what they expect, but the protest is planned for tomorrow at 1 p.m. Now, let's be clear here. When Somalians were driving around Rochester, picking up underage girls that were running away from foster homes and doing things to them that I cannot even mention on this platform, there was no protest. I want you to look at the name of the protest is Protect Our Children, Arrest and Charge Shiloh Hendrix. I keep almost calling her Shiloh Alexander for some reason. So, they are calling for her to be arrested. They're saying, protect the children. That's the name of this protest. But no one cared about protecting kids when Somalians were driving around town, picking up underage girls and doing things to them. No one was calling for protect the children just the other day when there was a gang shooting that killed 3 people and injured a few others. No protect the children protest. No protect the children protest from all of the violent crime that's happening in this area. No protect the children protest when these kids are being preyed upon by immigrants. But because a white lady dropped the N-word, now they want to protect kids. Mind you, if they really cared about protecting kids, the question they would be asking is, why is there a 5-year-old autistic child at the park playing by themselves at a park where there is a Somalian predator hanging out? A Somalian predator that has already been wrapped up in doing things to kids is at the park, videoing and watching and keeping his eye on a 5-year-old autistic child that was there by themselves with no parents. Doesn't that sound wild? But no one cares about protecting the kids when it comes to that. Now, to be clear, I don't think there really is a 5-year-old with autism. But I'm just saying, if we're going by the story that they're telling, if you want to protect the kids, ask where the hell the parents were. Because that's the real danger. A white lady dropping the M-bomb because this kid stole from her is not the real danger. The real danger is that this kid is at the park by themselves, being watched by Somalian predator strangers. Are they calling for him to be locked up for hanging out at the park? No. They want Shiloh locked up. They want Shiloh charged. And we're about to get into the description of this protest. But first, if you guys appreciate these videos, because this platform does not appreciate these videos, consider supporting the channel via Cash App or Super Thanks. It's always greatly appreciated because this platform doesn't really like to show me love. And I appreciate everyone that does show me love. And you can show love for free by liking the video, sharing the video on social media. We need to spread the word about this stuff. There's all types of crazy people reacting to this story, calling for death to Shiloh and all of this other nonsense. I'm one of the few people out here willing to put my face on camera and speak the truth. So share the videos, comment, join the conversation, subscribe if you haven't already. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the description of this protest. Join us in demanding justice for the hate crimes occurring throughout our city. On April 30th, Shiloh Hendrix participated in hate crimes against an innocent child at Soldiers Field Park in Rochester, Minnesota. The video of the incident has circulated on the intranet. I gotta pause right there. Because, come on. Listen, we all have typos. I'm famous for having typos over on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Go follow me over there if you haven't already, by the way. So, everyone's human. We all have typos. But you're trying to put together a professional protest, and you're calling it the intranet? And one thing I keep hearing people say, they keep saying that the kid was artistic instead of autistic. So we're dealing with a bunch of idiots, but let's go forward. The video of the incident has circulated all over on the intranet, and she has created a fundraising campaign for her safety. These acts of hatred and blatant racism are happening far too frequently within our city, and we are demanding accountability for all who participate in these acts. Griot Arts will open from 11 to 12 p.m. for those who would like to create signs prior to meeting at the Olmsted County Government Center. We will meet at the Government Center at 12 p.m. for the protest. Join us to demand justice and action from our city attorney and leaders. The ask is very clear. Protect our kids, our children. Arrest and charge Shiloh Hendrix. Hold her accountable for her actions. So apparently they're going to have some sort of art store that's going to open up just to allow these psychos to make their arrest Shiloh signs. And you best believe there's probably a little bit of Soros money flowing around here. There's probably, hey, if you live in the area, go check your locals. Go check Craigslist. They're probably recruiting people for the protest over there. Maybe you can go make $100 to go stand outside with an arrest Shiloh sign. That's probably how this is going to go. But it's just really fascinating seeing the energy put into this. It's fascinating seeing the hypocrisy, because you might remember just a couple of weeks ago, there was going to be there was an Austin Metcalf protest, right? And the mainstream media freaked out about it. Everyone freaked out about it and said it was racist if white people came together for a protest. Now, I warned people about the protest because I wasn't so sure of it. I do feel like there's outside forces here that are pitting us against each other. I do think that there are outside forces that want to divide America right now, destroy America, cause a race war, what have you. So I wasn't so sure if it was a psyop, a way to bait people into doing something stupid so they can be arrested. We saw it with J6. It's going to happen again. It happens all the time, right? So I was concerned that it was going to be a psyop, but everyone else was concerned about the protest for other reasons, because they didn't want to see white people have a protest. It was so bad, right? It was so terrible. But now, in classic fashion, the same people that freaked out about the Austin Metcalf protest are already getting ready to have a little protest of their own, because that's how this works, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what I've been explaining to you all. These people are hypocrites. They don't play fair. They will cry when you do the same things that they do. I'm not saying that you have to stoop to these people's level, but at some point you have to realize that we're not going to win this fight if we keep trying to be, if we keep refusing to go to certain levels. I'm not saying we got to stoop down to the bottom, but I am saying that we may have to get our hands dirty here, okay, folks? You might get called some bad names along the way. It's going to be okay. You're going to be all right, okay? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. You will be okay if you have a couple of labels placed on you along the way. Our forefathers, our ancestors went through much worse to ensure that we have the freedoms that we have today. Okay? So it's wild, but we all knew this was coming. I warned you guys that this was coming. And now tomorrow, after ignoring all of the gang violence, after ignoring the grooming Somalians running rampant in Minnesota, they're going to now have a protest about Shiloh Hendrix, because the N-word is worse than anything else that's happening in Minnesota right now, apparently. A white woman saying the N-word at the park is worse than anything happening in Minnesota. And, you know, I think all of you right now should go Google Minnesota and just look at the insane amount of crimes going on in these areas, especially in areas like where Shiloh lives, where there's a lot of immigrants and people who have just been poured into those areas for we know why. Now, as far as tomorrow's protest goes, I'm not sure how many people are going to show up. I'm not expecting that it's going to get too big. I'm not expecting that it's going to get too crazy. But what tomorrow is it's an attempt to spark the flame. Okay? Right now, they are attempting to spark the flame, and they are attempting to go ahead and kick off another summer of race riots and protest, okay? And I've already laid this out in past videos weeks ago, before the Shiloh Hendrix situation even happened. I told you that we are going to be strung along. There's going to be story after story with race involved, and eventually we're going to be strung along to the riots and the protests and what have you. So tomorrow they're going to try to strike the flame. They're going to try to spark the flame. And within a couple of weeks, best believe they're going to throw some officer-involved shootings or some other type of crazy stories out there to really get things kicked off. But tomorrow is definitely what they hope is the beginning to another summer of love. But with that being said, you guys show some love down in the comments. Let me know how you think about this or what you think about this. Hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.